Welcome back, Galactic Citizens, to your favorite channel where we cover everything Star Wars. This is Grand Moff Tarkin, and today I'm going to talk about Ajunta Pall, Dark Jedi, who became the First Lord of the Sith, and what happened to First Sith Lord Ajunta Pall. Before we start, make sure to subscribe to our channel for future Star Wars content. Also, I need to put small warning that this content is Star Wars Legends material and it's not considered canon by the time this video was created. A Force-sensitive human, Ajunta Pall was a member of the Jedi Order following the First Great Schism. Undergoing training in the ways of the Force, Pall first attained the rank of Jedi Knight, then attained the rank of Jedi Master, and began studying the ways of alchemy. Eventually, through his studies, Master Pall discovered the secret of creating and shaping life. Fearful of this power, the Jedi Order deemed it an abomination of the Force and sought to erase all practice of it. The Jedi High Council bared the teachings of Pall and his followers, deeming him a pawn of the dark side of the Force. Angered by way they deemed Jedi arrogance, Master Pall and his followers declared war on the Order, beginning a century-long conflict that would be known to history as the Hundred Years' Darkness. Obtaining significant power, the now High General Pall slew more than a dozen Jedi during the final battle of the war on Korbos, but he and his fellow Dark Jedi were defeated. Captured by his former comrades in the Jedi Order, Master Pall and his followers were stripped of their ranks and their weapons and exiled from space controlled by the Galactic Republic. Traveling from one planet to the other in search of habitable world, the exiles eventually discovered Korriban on the Outer Rim. Venturing out into the wastes of the desert planet, the exiles were intrigued upon discovering the world was home to a Force-sensitive species known as the Sith, who, while relatively primitive when compared to the Dark Jedi, were quite creative in their knowledge of the Force. The Sith under the king Hakagram Grush initially resisted the Dark Jedi's attempt to obtain their knowledge and subjugate them. However, Pall managed to recruit the king's shadow hand to their side, with the result that Grush was betrayed to the Dark Jedi and Pall personally executed Grush with his own sword. Afterwards, the Sith species, in awe of Pall and his followers' ships and technology, as well as their skill in manipulating the Force, quickly came to worship the visitors to their planet, hailing them as their gods. Pall and his followers then subjugated the natives, and his new Sith subjects revered him as their Gen Ari, meaning Dark Lord. As the first Dark Lord of the Sith, Ajunta Pall founded the first Sith Empire and expanded it onto other worlds. The Sith took over the planet Ziost and created it as their capital and as Pall's new home. Pall eventually died after serving the Empire for many decades, but his empire lived on. His body was returned to Korriban, where it was placed in a massive tomb in what would come to be called the Valley of the Dark Lords. After his physical death, Ajunta Pall's spirit persisted within his tomb, having attached his soul to the physical world through his extensive knowledge of alchemy. Over the centuries, he began to question his actions as a Sith Lord and the downfall the Lords experienced at each other's hand. Millennia after his death during the Jedi Civil War, Jedi Knight Revan entered Ajunta Pall's tomb to retrieve the Sith Lord's sword so that he could gain prestige from the nearby Sith Academy, which he hoped would ultimately lead to his accessing a star map containing partial coordinates of the Star Forge. Ajunta Pall appeared as a spirit and told Revan of his action as a Sith, with disappointment and shame, telling him of how the Jedi weren't what drove the Sith to destruction after the 100 Years' Darkness. It is said that Revan gave the sword to Master Utar Win at the Academy, obtaining the prestige necessary to reach the star map. Before his spirit was finished, Pall hinted at a secret source of Sith power. He was unable to reconcile conflicted images of whether Revan had discovered this source of power or would soon do so. So my fellow galactic citizens, with this being said, we can conclude today's interesting topic about first Sith Lord. This is so interesting story that I really hope it will make soon its way to canon timeline. Please let me know what do you think about first Sith Lord Ajunta Pall in comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more great content, and until next time, may the Force be with you always.